you guys at baseball?
Mm-hmm.
Last one?
Baseball and then
Football.
Oh, yeah.
Baseball tryout.
Oh, for like travel?
Yeah, that they do every year.
Mhm.
Football, I'm putting a pick up in tomorrow night football pick.
Oh, are we on burgers? Never mind, bud.
Hello, everyone. It looks like you can hear me. Great. So I think we will get started. Jody, if you can mute yourself, then I think it will give it to me. All right. So can everyone hear me okay? Perfect. Okay, so hello, Team Made. This is my first time doing a power hour with all of you, so I am super excited. My coach Sabrina, who is on here, Kelly asked for people to do it, and she just volunteered me, and we're in this thing where I just do what she says, so here I am. So I wanted to start today with just a little bit about me. I am a nurse. I work full-time. So I never sit down for an entire hour to work on my business. It just rarely ever works for me, which I know is the same for lots of people. So although this is the only way to kind of show it and do it with everyone else, know that I do these things in pockets throughout the day. I try to get at least one or two of them completed before the rest of my family is even up. That's the only thing that works for me. So we'll go through kind of what I do, just knowing that I don't always do them in this order or, you know, all together. So the first thing that I do that is not on any of the trackers or is not always a normal part of this is for me to switch gears into doing this, I need to take about 5 minutes and do kind of what I just call a brain dump. Like get down on paper the things that are going to prevent me from really focusing on this. So are there things that I have been thinking throughout the day that I need to get down on paper, or are there things that I just really don't want to forget, even if they don't pertain to the business, so that I'm not thinking about them then? So the first piece of today, I would like to do that. So we'll set a timer for 5 minutes. If you don't have things that need to be kind of just put out on your paper, The other thing that I do at that point is just to get myself into the like, we're rock stars, we're helping people kind of mindset. So that can be listening to some music, that can be doing affirmations, whatever really works for you. So I'm going to set the timer for 5 minutes, and then we'll go from there. All right, so time is up. Hopefully you are ready to go, feeling like you are in a good place to be working, to be focused. So the next thing that I do is the hardest for me, and it's not what most people find the hardest, but it's making connections and finding followers. So for me, I so easily get distracted in the like scrolling of all the things. So that's part of why I really have to put that focus in first. And like, okay, now I'm working on my business. I am not checking on everyone's Facebook and everyone's Instagram. I am doing these specific tasks. So we're going to spend 10 minutes, either Instagram, Facebook, looking for connections that you can be making. So these are not invites, these are just conversations with people, and then adding followers. So Facebook, you know, you're looking at more people that you might actually know or people that know your good friends. Instagram can be anyone. That's kind of how it's set up. So what I do as far as Instagram is I look at either people that I follow that are really interesting to me, whether they're bloggers or they're just, you know, I love their Instagram page. And then I look at who's commenting on their things. And I go in and I kind of look at those people and say like, yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking, and then maybe follow them or like some of the things on their page. So that's what I do. I also go into some groups that I participate in. I like to hike, so like a women's hiking group, and look at the followers there. So we will do that for about 10 minutes, and I will start the timer now.
I'm listening to this call.
If you're just joining, which I think there may have been some people that just tapped on, we are in the process of making connections, adding followers, not inviting, but really interacting with people in our social media. If you just jumped on, I think there's maybe a couple of people that aren't muted, so just check because maybe we can hear you. Which is fine, unless you don't want us to. There we go. All right, so there is the timer for that one. So I know on our Business Success Club system tracker, it talks about certain numbers with things. And for me, it's just that amount of time that I have. Some days it's more people, some days it's less. For me, my invites is where I set like a hard number that I have to have. But as far as connections, I just do what I'm able to. So speaking of invites, that's our next step. So for me, I am going to be looking at the last few days and what I have posted and what people have responded to. So I'm going to be going through and looking at the people that have liked that, who have commented, and really invite them to what we're doing. So, currently a lot of those people are looking at Morning Meltdown 100 or thinking about moving into that fall groove that is coming oh so quickly. So we are going to spend about 15 minutes inviting. So this, for me, is a minimum of 10. For some people, if you have more time than that and you're looking to really up your business, it should be more than 10, because we know that if you're only doing 10, all of those people could say no, and then you hopefully tomorrow will have more, but the more that you invite, the better your chances are. So I'm going to set the timer for 15, again, looking at people who have talked to you about it or interacted in some way with one of your posts. So here we go. All right, there is the timer again. So for me, if in that time frame I have not gotten in the 10 invites that I set up for myself per day, then I would set some time aside and continue that later, or just continue as I have time. And again, some of the easiest things, I think sometimes we absolutely just put too much into it. So for me, I just say very simply, like, thank you so much for the love on my post about whatever it was that day. Just reaching out to see if you were just showing support, which I really appreciate, or if you're interested in information about whatever it was I was talking about. So whether that's my group, so the coaching opportunity, or that kind of thing. And I get amazing response from that. So I think we're afraid that people are going to be upset that we're sending those messages, but because we're doing it to those people that interacted first, and we're in a very like, great, if you're interested, if you're not, that's awesome too. People are really great. So I think sometimes we don't give people credit for being pretty awesome people. And if they're not, maybe they're not your people anyway. So the next section is responding to people that didn't necessarily interact or didn't interact to your post, but maybe viewed your story, or you posted something about, for me, there's been a lot of posts about baseball and like summer in the area that we live. And so I'm not going to invite those people from that post because they weren't clicking on anything like that. But I am going to start a conversation with them like, hey, I saw that you liked my post. I haven't talked to you in forever. Thanks for interacting. How's life? Or something like that, which can easily get you to some other conversations later on, because they've been watching, if they're looking at those things. And so they know what you're doing and may say like, man, you just seem like you're super happy. Here's what I've been struggling with. And you can get them to ask to be in something sometimes. It's patience that gets us there. And so that sometimes is the hardest part, because we're like, oh, we're talking to someone. And if we kind of let that roll a little bit, sometimes they will be the ones that ask. So Laura said, didn't get many likes on my Facebook. So that happens all the time. You think your post is just like rock solid and people are going to respond to it and it is going to be amazing. And then again, it's your coach, your mother-in-law, and my hubby does not like any of my posts. I don't know if he thinks I'll try to sell him. He's already a coach, so I don't know. But my grandma, she likes every post. And honestly, she's doing Lift 4, but that's just going to happen. And we just have to be like, oh, okay. So what I found is, yes, don't rush the relationship. It's so important. And I stink at it because I'm like, join me. It's so great. This is this gift I have for you. And they're not as excited about it because they haven't experienced it yet. So I just have to like tone it down sometimes. But if you're not having all those likes and you're like, I don't know who to invite, you need to focus more on connections. Because if the same 20 people are seeing your post about your challenge group every single time you post it, yeah, they're not going to like it again, because for one, you've already reached out to them. So they're like, if I like that again, she's going to think I want to do it again. And like, you need to expand your market because you've talked to those people. So that's why that second thing that we did, that adding connections and adding followers, is like make it or break it, because you have got to have new people seeing what you're doing. So just focus on that. If you can't, you want to be inviting, you want to be thinking about other people that haven't been doing your post, people that you ran into, and maybe they said, this happens to me quite frequently. We're in a situation where it's not appropriate for me to be like, hey, why don't you join me? But they're like, you look so great. I've been watching what you're doing, but they have never interacted in anything. So then I come home, or like even the next day, and send them a message that has an invite in it that says like, so great to see you. I've just been thinking about you since you said that you've been watching what I've been doing, and just wanted to invite you because I know how great this is and I want to tell like, I want to give you the opportunity. And sometimes I'll say, like, I feel really bad that I wasn't able to give you that opportunity then, so I needed to reach out. Simple as that. Okay, so moving along so that we can get all of our things done. So the next piece, again, is just responding to all of that. So responding to anybody that has reviewed your stories, and again, not in a inviting kind of way. So we're going to do that for about 10 minutes. All right, there is the timer again. So the last one that we're going to do here, because we're almost out of time, is some follow-ups. So if you've been in this business for 5 minutes or way longer than I have, you have heard multiple times that the money is in the follow-ups. The connections, the people, everything is in the follow-ups. Because I didn't, the first time somebody sent me information, I ignored it. Probably the first few times. So you just really never know where a person is. So often I just follow up with, hey, I don't know if your summer is like mine, but I never, like, things just go in my brain and then they're right out again. Just following up to see if you have any questions. I'm here. You know, let me know if you think this is right for you. So it can be super simple, but we should not feel bad about it because we know how great all of this is. And if it's not the right time for them, then great. And I will say, like, hey, I totally get that. It's not been the right time for me lots of times in my life, but here's what I can do. I can check in on you in a couple months if that's okay. And I've never had anyone say, like, no, please don't contact me again. Because if they're going to say that, they probably didn't respond to my post at all or to my first message. So again, we'll do follow-ups for about 5 minutes, only because I don't want to keep people any longer than necessary. But so we'll do that for about 5 minutes, and then I'll kind of wrap up with a couple other things. All right, so there's the timer. Obviously, you would follow up, in a certain way. So, keeping track of the people that you looked at today, for me, I give them usually about 2 days, and then I follow up the next day. Like, anybody cannot have followed up in that time. So, just thinking about that. The other thing that I would add to this that we won't do all together just because, people have other things to do, is putting all that time together to check in with your groups, check in with your clients, answer questions, and recognize a couple people. The only way to keep this going is to get people results. And so sometimes we forget in all of the forward moving things that we have people that are wanting this journey with us, and whether that's as just, people that are trying to just get their fitness, or people that really have that thinking that maybe they could make this a business as well. So making sure that all of that is happening and that you're really focusing on that too, and not only moving forward. Any other questions from anyone about how I do it, or struggles that you're having as we're going through this? And it looks like if you guys want to add your Instagram handles on there. Perfect. So I'm just trying to see if there's any other questions. So I really appreciate everyone that took the time tonight and joined me for my first time doing this. I do want to let you know, oh, thank you, Laura. I want to let you know that this isn't as scary as it seems, because you guys all are really lovely people. So if you have people in your downline or people that you're working with regularly, please, please, please encourage them to do this, because it's a great way to talk to people that aren't super scary. So everybody's in the same place here, and you're not trying to, you're just doing the activities that we all have to do. So I hope you guys have a great night, and thank you again so much for joining.